Hello folks, welcome back to the ProgHat channel, back with another video. This is a review. Now what got me to go and listen to this album by Yes, Heaven and Earth, I was watching one of these streams where the folks were talking about this record, and I just mainly sat back and just listened to their comments. I wasn't really familiar with the record, but I had it in my collection. And I remember when this album came out in 2014 that I was at a record store, and it had came out and I saw it in the UCD section already. I said to myself, so I don't remember how much I paid for it. I think $5.99 plus tax. So I bought it and I had it every since then. And I've listened to it, but I didn't really remember it very much. So listening to this live stream, and that's one thing about live streams or videos. For me, they encourage me to go back to listen to something to see what my thoughts were on it. So I'm going to talk about this album and try to stay under a certain amount of time. I don't want to go over. But one thing I want to start to say about this before I get into my little review too is I really appreciate my wife, Mrs. ProgHat, her comments about prog albums or any music. So I showed her this CD and I said, what do you think about this artwork? What it seems to be wrong to you about this? And she said what I was thinking. This part right here, just a little thing, like it doesn't need to be there. Maybe it doesn't need to be on this cover at all. Maybe if they just made a hype sticker to let you know, yes, heaven on earth, that would have been great. But her opinion was that maybe it should be down here somewhere, a little bit more like it's rising up out of this. I'm assuming this is water. But that was one thing I noticed. I don't like really the color of it, this little black and white. I feel like it's not right, but that's just my opinion. What do I know? I don't design album covers. But, you know, the disc opens up. I love this inside of it. The disc is in my player. But I like this. It's like that adventurous other worlds. Welcome to the music of Yes. Comes with this really nice booklet. You know, and has some pictures of the band. I'll show you that real quick. That I really thought they were really cool photos. I love the photo in here of Mr. Chris Squire with that really nice bass guitar. So comes with the lyrics, which I plan to read some part of the lyrics. So because I like what it says, even though I might not understand what it says. But still, I liked it. You know, you ever been like that where you're like, I don't get where you're going, but hey, I like that. Okay. So like I mentioned, this album was being produced under Roy Thomas Baker, who's done Queen, The Cars, lots of other artists that we are familiar and have records in our collection produced by him. It was the final, this is the sad note, album of Chris Squire, rest in peace. One of my favorite albums is Fish Out of Water. I love that. And like I mentioned, it was released in 2014. This is the 21st studio album. And then I was looking, doing some research, and I found out I thought I'm still missing some Yes stuff. Like I'm missing the album The Quest, which it's in my cart. Might pull the trigger on that one. So this album is kind of a bit of a mystery, and let me explain why. Because listening to it a few times, listening to the music, sometimes I don't know who's doing what. Who is actually playing the bass? I would agree with that. It sounds like Chris Squire, but yet it could be in somebody else. Same thing about some of the guitar parts. Some sound like Steve Howe. Some sound like Billy, what's his name, Sherwood? Hopefully I said that right. Who is also the engineer of this album. And so it's kind of, that's the mystery about it. And it is quite interesting. I like that. Maybe I don't need to know everything. Just focus on the music. But one thing about it though, Yes cannot be accused of doing the same album over and over. Let me just say right now, Heaven and Earth is a good album. It's not fragile. It's not close to the edge. It's not going for the one. It's not the Yes album. It's not the Ladder. It's not Open Your Eyes, Union. It's not that. It's a good album with some really good songs. Some, I'll be honest, some of them I never thought I would say this. I really didn't too much like, but maybe they'll grow on me as I'm getting older. So like I mentioned, I was mixed about it, but I will say this too, that Yes is one of the bands that is a big, strong survivor. I mean, all the music scenes that have happened in rock music, Yes has survived through it. Came out like 90125, Big Generator. I love those records. And yes, this record doesn't have a lot of prog. That's true. But there's some throwback prog on it that I really did like. And like I mentioned, I say it's a good album. Now, if 10 was the highest and you had to give a ranking, I'd give this album about a 3.54 star rating on it. I love the vocals. John Davidson is a really good singer, and he writes some really good lyrics. So I was really surprised by that. I remember when I first heard him, and it's on this other live thing that I'll share one day. I didn't get it at first. I was like, because when they say he sounds like so-and-so, yes and no. I'll put it that way. I'll leave it at that. Yes and no. So let's get into the songs. Now, the key songs for me, there are 4 of them. The 4 key songs that I really like was Believe Again, To Ascend, Light of the Ages, and Subway Walls. I love those songs, and I think I know why. One of them is they're long. They're almost 10 minutes or get close to that, and I love that. But yes, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Believe Again starts off the album, which I'm used to a Yes album starting off with something a little bit more dominant, more like, okay, I'm there. Where are we going with this? Oh, yeah, I'll give you an example, like Going for the One or Close to the Edge, those opening tracks. That's what I'm talking about. But Believe Again starts off really with the nice guitar work by saying Steve Howe. And it starts off really nice. It's a radio-friendly song, I think. I mean, it's something that I could see being as a single. The vocals are good. So that's one of the key songs for me. The next song, The Game, it's an okay song. It's more of a pop song. There's some nice guitar work in it. I love that, that guitar work in the middle of the song, but it also kind of reminds me of something that Tomato, a little bit of that. The third song, it's okay. Step Beyond, it's got that mellow tempo. I do like I like the rock lead guitar part, but that part of that, that it just seems to be in there just a little bit too much. Maybe just in the intro and then that's it. But that's just my opinion. What do I know? I'm not a member of Yes and I'm not their producer. To Ascend. Now, I do like that song. That song has some nice acoustic beginning. And it's a really good Yes song. I love the piano. And I love that one little bit of that one verse where it says, where you're catching the last train to nowhere. Were you catching the last train to nowhere, playing out scenes of dark desert days? Put it behind you now. Call out those black shadows from your mind and never again slip through the cracks. I like that. That's very poetic. I like this song, To Ascend. From what I understand, it's some kind of a Portugal guitar Steve Howe is playing. I'm not for sure, but that's, in my research. Number 5, In a Word of Our Own. I like it sometimes. I heard it again. It's an okay song. Okay, I like the xylophone that I hear. I love the little mellow tempo and the nice guitar work. Number 6 is a key track for me. I do like Light of the Ages, which is one of those, I feel like a throwback prog track. And I almost thought it was an instrumental the way it begins. But the guitar parts do remind me of early Yes. Kind of reminds me of something I expect to hear on Going for the One. Folks, tomorrow, Going for the One, I'm going to say here real quickly. Get those CDs. They have a lot of great bonus tracks. All right, folks, 2 more tracks here. It Was All We Know, track 7. It's an okay song. There's a part of it that kind of reminds me of Siberian Cut True a little bit, especially the vocal, a little bit of the tempo. It does have a nice steady tempo, good guitar work, but not my particular favorite, but it's an okay track. I'll put it that way. Number 8, the last song, is a key track for me, and I heard some people kind of make fun of this song, but I like Subway Walls. I think it's a good closing track. It's another throwback prog song. I love the middle section of it. I can't tell if that's violins or cellos at the beginning. It could be something that they do some computer programming, but I like it. I like the bass playing. If it's Chris Squire, I like that. I also like the keyboard parts. And this is the song where I kind of felt like, I'm not sure if that's really Steve Howe on lead guitar. I could be wrong. Folks, thank you for clicking on this video and listening to my review. That is my review on Heaven on Earth. I'm still thinking about that. The Quest. Should I go ahead and pull the trigger on that one? I'm a Yes fan. They're my favorite prog band. But I hope you enjoyed this review. Leave me a comment whether you like this album or not. Maybe you have some favorites. Maybe you have some thoughts you want to share. Please, if you like my content, consider subscribing, hitting the like button, hitting that notification. Take care, everyone. Have a great upcoming week. Let the music you love be your journey. Take care.